Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to Days of Origins. We stand at the threshold of February 2026, a time when the dream whispers of the earth beacon with the arrival of Lunar New Year, the year of the Vinod. Amid the scared atmosphere of homecoming, a renewance at 43 Coffee invite you to contemplate a term that is intimate at its profound home. At 43 Coffee, home is far more than physical coordinate of century. To us, home is the provenance and scarce ground where the most primal cells of flavor are born. We do not view ourselves simply a curator, but as heritage ingredients. For us, the discovery subscriptions is a monthly reel of homecoming, bright, building up between the soul of the drinker and the spirit of the land. We believe that home is where potatoes stay long enough to become legacy.
The story of Nueva Alianza Farm is the most vivid testament to this theme of home. Dwight Messias, a third-generation coffee producer, once dreamed of leaving his homeland to study agronomy in Lima. However, economic adversity anchored him to this ancestral soil instead of surrendering to circumstance. Dwight chose to transform his family farm into home in the truest sense, a place to preserve heritage and elevate it through the lens of science. On steep slopes tilting at 45 degrees, Hawaii meticulously engineered a multi-tier ecosystem where the canopy of avocado, lemon, and banana trees shield the coffee cherries from the harsh wind of the weather. His unwavering resolve has forged the Nueva Alianza into the fortress of quality, where every bean carries the breath of the Andean winds and the soul of an Incan descendant. Here, the potential of the Santa Teresa region was never abandoned. It stayed endured through the most demanding harvest and has now blossomed into the global specialty coffee legacy.
Within the centuries of Nueva Alianza, the Geisha Inca 4734 emerges as a radiant jewel. This lot is classic example of how potential is awakened where we honor heritage. Historically, it has been a mysteriously a variety its true origin remains exclusive and cannot be authenticated with absolute certainty. However, it is a member of Ethiopian legacy genetic group. This is variety carried profound cultural value, having been cultivated and brought to prominence by legacy of Inca civilizations in coastal regions, creating the sensations that define the identity of this terroir. According to a reputable scientific research, the Gesha Inca share significant genetic marker with XLIII, a section originally developed by Scott Story in Kenya in 1930 years. Yes, absolute verification remains of outreach. That is question for science to continue exploring. For 43 Copy, we are here to narrate this story with the utmost authenticity and precision, unknowing mysteries, history, and cultural ways of this fascinating legend. The Geisha Inca at Nueva Alianza had adapted and flourished, creating its own legacy upon this land. With its note of strawberry, jasmine, and second sweetness of red apple, this coffee do need to be Panamanians geisha to celebrate. It is honest because its potential stay in this soil long enough to transform into the Indian regions.
Following the mystery of the Inca is the Nueva Alianza Red Gesha 4729, a royal lineage in residence. Biologically, the geisha variety is an ancestral landrace from Ethiopia, carrying the genetic blueprint of absolute purity and extreme environmental sensitivity. It has journeyed across the continents, from the wild forests of Africa to the heights of Panama, before finally finding its second home in Peru. When this royal lineage reached the 1,820 meters altitude of Santa Teresa, it did not remain a stranger. It settled here. The potential of this world-renowned variety reside long enough to absorb the unique mineral quintessence of the sandy loam soil and the protections of the wide agroforestry system. The result is a lot of offering with the multi-layers sensory architecture. From the effervescence of the jasmine and the bright citrus when hot to the deep sweetness of the orange blossom and the crisp clarity of pear when it's cold. This coffee proves that true success is not found in constant movement, but in genetic entity finding the place where it truly belongs.
Forestry Coffee believes that you do not need to compare a contract to find better coffee. Instead, we invite you to welcome each cup as an honored guest, but fulfill your century at the start of the year. Every sip is more than a drink, right? It is a dialogue with the biological heart of the farm. Aside a sterilizations of the production revolutions and the absolute transparency of our shared journey. To truly perceive that nuanced transformations of origin across the seasons, we encourage you to accompany us to Discovery Subscription for 3 months or more. This is the most profound way to build a steadfast relationship with the world of specialty coffee. A journey where time reveals a true depth of our global partner and subtle evolution of the soil.
Yeah. In the warmth of the family hug, tests serve as our separate posts, a time to return home and gather the threads of our history while weaving our expectations for the future. It is the movement to look back at the journey past and forward with vibrant anticipations of unlocking the hidden potential within ourselves.
Mhm. In Vietnam culture, we cherish the blessing mã đáo thành công. We find the true magic in the word đáo, which means to return. We believe that ultimate success is not measured solely by my venture, but by the strength of return to one core value. Home is where potential stay long enough to become legacy. It is the point of departure and ultimate destinations where success finds its permanence. May you find peace upon every return home, whether it's the warmth of your family or the quiet moment of reflection with a cup of original coffee from Fortitude Coffee.
Happy Lunar New Year!
Mã đáo thành công.